What have we learned about the marketplace of NIL and where Florida State sits? And what have you learned as CEO of the Battles in this process and the challenges therein?
Yeah, I've learned, and this is going to sound like a giant sales pitch, and to an extent, I'll be honest with you, it is, but to an extent, it's an honest reflection of the landscape. We have a unique opportunity to be successful right here and right now, Jeff. I don't know how long NIL is going to last. People ask me, my wife even asked me, how long do you think you're going to be doing this? I don't know. It could end tomorrow. NIL is a wild landscape that changes rapidly, but as it's currently constituted, Florida State can be very competitive and can be very successful in a landscape that, candidly, I'm not sure as a fan base we thought we could have been a year ago or 2 years ago. And that's not a shot at anybody. It's just a landscape that's ever evolving. We thought there was a window for us to enter into the scene here and be successful, particularly in football. So my point here, Jeff, is like I went to a NIL summit 2 months ago or a month and a half ago. I don't know, time blends together right now for me. And six collectives invited from across the country, 3 on one side of the aisle, 3 on the other. And the other 3 were all from the SEC. And Jeff, it takes great pride for me to tell you that we went up head to head against those guys, against all of them, at least once in the last transfer portal, and we went undefeated. We got every kid that we wanted to, particularly when battling some of the larger brands in college football. And I don't know how long that will be the case, but for the here and now, we've found a spot that we can be very successful in. We found a market inefficiency in retention, which as soon as you find a market inefficiency in 2022 or 2023, it's gone. So we'll have to adjust accordingly and know that we're probably not going to have some of the advantages that we've had in the past. But NIL is a lot of fun. It brings a level of just fairness, for lack of better words, to this equation where players have the opportunity to market themselves and have the opportunity to take advantage of marketing opportunities that are reflective to the value and the worth that they help, bring this fan base and this community. And it's been an opportunity of a lifetime, but it's exciting and it's nerve-wracking. And I don't, my patterns of sleep are probably not what they should be, but we move on, and it's been a hell of a ride so far. Definitely.
This is fun. I wonder, when you just said patterns of sleep, probably not what they should be, I couldn't help but think, you think you've got something resolved, you got something figured out, something agreed to, whatever that something might be, and then somebody decides they really need that player at a different school, and that player's already been worked out. Is this part of it? Like, are you constantly, and I imagine this is for all NILs, all collectives, are you constantly having to take phone calls from people saying that they've got better offers? I mean, is it like professional, like a free agent?
Some of that, certainly. I mean, there was a time, I'll just tell you a story of my engagement party a couple months ago. We were sitting there hanging out, having a good time, and it became abundantly clear to me, Jeff, that I wasn't going to have to immediately leave my engagement party, but I did go over to my fiance at the time and say, don't worry, I'm not leaving early, but when this does end, we can be the last 2 people to walk out of here. That's fine. But I'm going to Tallahassee. You're going back to Brookhaven. I'm going to Tallahassee. And that's just the reality of the situation. And things change rapidly. And, it's not, I'm not trying to make myself out to be Jerry Maguire or something like that. That's not the case. But when things come, they come quick, and they've got to be dealt with immediately most of the time. So yeah, it's a running joke that I could leave for Tallahassee at any time. And sometimes I do. So yeah, it's wild.
There's some confusion. I get this a lot, so I'm going to throw it your way and let you deal with it, because I don't know that I've got a complete handle on it. I think I've got a fair idea, but I'd rather ask you directly. So people know what the Battles End is and what they've done, and they can be a part of it. They can go to thebattlesend.com and learn more. They can do all these things. There are different levels and what membership gets you and all that. But I hear a lot of people say, okay, well, that's great. That's fine. But what if I already joined Rising Spear, or I've joined one of these other collectives, or why should I join this one over that one? I guess it's a general question. If you want to speak to that, Rising Spear was a name that people knew initially, Ingram. The Battles End has come in and really done, yeoman's work here with this roster, obviously, but I am curious what you say to people who ask you what's the difference and how do I tell the difference and why do I join one or the other?
Yeah. Yeah, good question, Jeff. I will let's see how I can answer this without getting myself in trouble. I think that our model fits football real well. And we do golf as well, and we're really excited about that. And that's a unique opportunity for us. I think Rising Spear does some really good things. They may give a different answer. They may disagree with me. I don't know that their model is particularly perfect for football, but that's we can all do our own things, and it doesn't mean that they don't have space in this space, and it doesn't mean that they don't provide great value to the Florida State athletic community. I will give them credit for the Tania deal that they just did with the women's basketball team. Tania, a prospect here from Atlanta, from Westlake High School, is one of the best players in the country. I was thrilled to see that they were able to come to an agreement. I think her words, a longstanding commitment or long-term commitment to Florida State University, and that's great work by Rising Spear. Right now, kind of the agreed upon focus is golf and football on our end, and they're doing everything else. That could change in the future. Like I said earlier, this whole landscape can change in 5 minutes and does. But for right now, I think Florida State fans should be confident and comfortable that they have two collectives that kind of have their own areas of focus and are operating at a high level, and I think are a very positive reflection of a university that so many people care so much about. So hopefully we'll get some clarity on this in time. And it's hard to find too many examples of quote unquote dueling collectives at schools that have been successful, but we're not really, I wouldn't describe us as competitors right now. I mean, if you want to support football, go to thebattlesend.com. If you want to support the great work that Lonnie's doing, or the dynastic run that the women's soccer team has had over the last decade or so, then Rising Spear is more than capable of, providing a unique, collective and ability to help those sports be competitive.
Well, it's pretty clear cut, straightforward. Football, battles in. Golf, battles in. Everything else, feeling froggy there? Or you could do both. You could do both. Hey, there's room for everybody. They're all supporting Florida State, obviously. So that's a good answer. Thank you for addressing it. I hope I didn't put you on the spot, but
No, not at all. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, our intentions are aligned, and we do things slightly different. We'll figure it out. But they do a really good job in the sports that they have a focus on. Absolutely.
So let me ask you this: as you know, this is fascinating. Spring is almost over. Spring football is almost over. Hence the reason we're talking the build up to Seminole Showcase. But do you envision an interesting period just after the end of spring here? Because there's opportunities for Florida State to dip back into the portal, but there are certainly opportunities for players to take it on down the road if other schools are doing the same and trying to pluck people from our roster. I imagine it's about to be a really busy time.
It's going to be crazy. That's what I think. I think it's going to be absolute bonkers, to be honest with you. April 16th till either the final day of April or May 1st. This is not speaking strictly from a Florida State perspective. I've spoken with leaders of collective in the SEC, the Big Ten, and the Big 12 who told me similar. And my personal experience has supported this. There's some crazy, what I would call froth in the system, Jeff. There's numbers out there that aren't real. There's kids that talk about leaving who then throw out figures that are asinine. We've had some inquiries that are just not. It's not that they're just not in line with the market, Jeff. They're not in line with any, with the craziest deal of all time wouldn't make sense compared to some of the things that we've heard out there. So NIL is a landscape that ultimately is regulating itself. I'll give Shannon Terry credit. He's done a really good job, and the team at On3 of bringing kind of an analytical perspective of this. And he's absolutely right. Most of the elite kind of top level collectives, I don't love that term, but let's just use it for uniformity's sake when speaking to this industry. Most of those collectives that are operating at the high end spend somewhere between 11 and 15% on incoming talent, Jeff. So that's, like the days of signing high school kids to bizarrely stupid deals, I think are over. Now, are there particular positions out there that certain universities will will find marketing opportunities to be reflective of. Absolutely. But I think a lot of the dumb froth of like, hey, we're going to give a high school kid that's not going to play for 2 years a deal that's going to reset our whole, kind of payroll, so to say, is gone. And there's been a pretty quick maturation in this market and in this field. And I think you're only going to continue to see that with a focus placed on retention and selective transfer portal activity.
Talking to the CEO of Battles End, Ingram Smith. Ingram, when is the next window for clarity regarding NIL?
I don't know that question, to be honest with you. I mean, all these different bodies kind of discuss it. You see a political hearing last week or 2 weeks ago. It'll be a wild landscape, Jeff. There's conversations of athletes becoming employees of the school. I think that'll be down the road if it ever occurs. There's an interesting conversation about athletes being employees of the conference, which would would potentially be, I don't want to say a workaround to Title IX, but wouldn't cause some of the Title IX ramifications that just making pure athletes employees to the school directly would be. I don't know. That's the best question I can give you, man. There's a lot of different things in this landscape. It will continue to develop. I don't know that Congress has an appetite to really jump in and address this head on, but I'm a podcaster and a CEO of a collective. I'm not somebody that is an expert on the Hill or reflective of where political will sits. So I don't know. Yeah.
Oh man, I love it. Ingram does the Nolecast for those of you that don't know. And Ingram, I appreciate you. Let's recap and let everybody know. You and I are going to do an hour someday and just go over all these questions I have. If you'll indulge me at some point when you,
absolutely.
Your time tires,
and I'll just start asking you music questions, and all the listeners
good.
will get pissed off because they don't care about my music opinion. That's
hey,
fine.
But I do, and I'll answer all the music questions if you answer all my NIL questions, and it'll be splendid. All right, so 11 a.m. autograph session, all that good stuff. Let's go through what you want to get out there so that everybody knows all the fun we're going to have on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. It is it's a great opportunity, a window of time that we don't have as a fan base to see each other in a broad perspective for 4 or 5 months. And we're really excited about the autograph session. The autograph session will last, I think, officially from 11 to 12:30, but you really want to 11 to 12 are the hours that you want to focus on there. We're on Langford Green. Again, we have no idea what the response is going to be to this. I suspect it's going to be pretty significant based off the fact that, 1, the roster's pretty damn good. 2, the fan base is really excited. And 3, we haven't had a chance to do anything like this in 4 years. So come out to the Langford Green. We'll have a significant series of tents set up to have a little bit of a fan fest. And then as the day goes on, we'll just transfer more to kind of a traditional tailgate. We've got a band coming to play. We're happy to talk to you about Florida State football. We're happy to talk to you about joining the Battles End. And if there's any more information that you guys want, go to thebattlesend.com or feel free to find me on whatever your preferred medium of social media is.
Ingram, always appreciate it, brother. I'll see you really soon. In fact, I'll see you this Friday and Saturday. So looking forward to it. And thanks for the time. Be good, sir.
Great talking to you, Jeff. Thank you, bud.
Take care. That's Ingram Smith, CEO, The Battles End. Again, 11 a.m. for their autograph session. We'll be doing a pregame show at Hotel Indigo up on the roof as we did all of last football season. Really excited to partner with them again as well. We go on at 1 o'clock, so if you want to go down there, get your autographs, sign up for the Battles In, join that effort as they continue to allow Florida State to be competitive and more than competitive, hold their own, obviously, in the world of college football. Then come on over and say hello to us and partake in some food and drink, then wander back over there. It's a good time for all for the entirety of Saturday. And then, of course, I, again, want to publicly state we really appreciate the Battles In support and their efforts. They helped us out on the golf tournament that is taking place this Friday at Capital City Country Club. Look forward to that. Let's come back and react to that in just a moment. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.